All right, it's time to get flashy. We're going to make a virtual light flash on and off using the picaxe 08M. The 08M is a great starter chip. It's inexpensive and easy to learn. We'll start off by selecting the 08M as our pic type. So we'll go up to the Options menu, select Pic Type, and select the 08M. The 08M has a wizard that allows you to pick the number of inputs and outputs. I'll go down towards the bottom here. I'm going to choose 2 inputs with outputs on 0, 1, and 2. That's the second last choice in my version of the program. We'll say OK. And now that we've configured our chip, we can put the virtual chip on the screen. We'll go up to Toolbar and we'll click on Show or Hide the Digital Panel. And here it is, our virtual chip. The virtual light that we are going to flash on and off is connected to output 0. We're going to turn it on or make it high. We'll use the high command to turn the output on. If we go to the command list, we'll find the high command under the common grouping. I'll pull it out and I'll put it underneath the start command. If I double click on the high command, I get this dialog box and I have some instructions. Select output to switch on. We want output 0, so I'll select that. And if I look at output 0 and I click the test button, you can actually see the output going high. So this command looks good, so I'll select OK. The next thing we want the program to do is to waste some time. We want the program to do nothing for 1 second while we admire the glowing beauty of our high output. If we go back to the command list, we'll find the wait command under the common grouping. I'll drag the wait command out and put it underneath the high command. If we double click on the wait command, we'll get this dialog box. It says type in or choose a length of time to wait in seconds. I'll choose the time from the drop-down list. I'll select 1 second and I'll click OK. We get the heading Wait 1. After the output has been on for 1 second, we want to turn it off or make it go low. We'll use the low command for this. I'll drag out a low command from the common grouping and I'll place it below the wait command. If we double click on it and go inside, we can select out pin 0. If I press test, I don't see any change on this pin, and that's because the default value is already 0. So we'll say OK to select, and we get a caption of low 0. We want the output to stay low for 1 second before we go back to turn it on again. We could create a new wait command below the low command, or we could copy and paste the existing wait command. Let's do a copy and paste. I'll right-click on the wait command and I'll left-click on copy. Now I'll right-click where I want the wait command and left-click on paste. Great, now that we have all the commands in place, all we have to do is connect them. We can use the pencil tool to connect the commands. I'll click on the pencil tool to select it, and then I'll click on the command where I want the line to start. Then I'll click on the command where I want the line to end. It's that simple. The pencil tool stays selected so I can repeat the process. Click on the command where I want the line to start, click on the command where I want the line to end. If I want to get rid of the pencil tool, I can simply click on the right mouse button. I'll do that now, and you can see that we got the selection cursor back again. I'll go back and select the pencil tool, and we'll continue with the connections. After the wait, we want the output 0 to turn off or go low. Then we want to wait another second, and then we want to go back and do it all over again. So I'll go up to the beginning of the program just after the start, and I'll click, and there's our path. We have the 0 output goes high, wait 1 second, 0 output goes low, wait 1 second, and go back and do it all over again. Before I demonstrate the final program, I'd like to spend a little time talking about fixing errors. Let's say we accidentally make a connection here to the cell under high 0 instead of to here. We can go up to the Edit menu and select Undo, and it'll undo the last line we created. But if we go up and try to do undo again, it's grayed out. There's only one level of undo. So we'll have to do some deleting. We could probably continue this line all the way to here, but let's say we want to delete some lines. How do you go about doing it? I'll click on this line and I'll press delete, and nothing happens. You need to delete a line from the cell in which it starts. So if I click here in this cell and press delete, then the line will go. And the same thing applies to the next line, and the next line, and so on. The problem happens when I get all the way to this first line. It begins in this cell. So if I click on this cell and I press delete, then the command disappears. I'll hit Control Z or undo to bring that back. If you want to delete a line coming from a cell, what you have to do is select a cell, hold down the Control key, and then press delete, and the line will disappear. So I'll go back and I'll put these arrows back in again. You can draw arrows using the keyboard by holding the arrow keys and Control. So I'll hit Control left arrow, Control up arrow, and Control right arrow. And now our program is back in its original state and ready to test. Okay, we're ready to test the program. I'll go to the Simulate menu and choose Run. We can see that output 0 is flashing at 1 second intervals, and we can kind of see the flow of the program here. If we want to slow it down a little bit, we can go up to Options, to set simulation run speed, and if we move this slider to the right and then say OK, we can see that the simulation has slowed down. We can actually see the progress from cell to cell. You can get the same effect down at the bottom of the screen here by using this slider. If you want to look at the simulation at full speed, you'll have to go back to Options, set simulation run speed, and choose fast run. This will give us a full speed operation, and we can see the LED flashing steadily here, but we don't have any indication of program flow. If you want to stop the simulation, click on the stop button. Well, I hope you've tried this exercise and had some fun with it. In the next video, we'll discuss the use of virtual inputs.